What's up, mamas? I'm Rebecca. You're watching the Reseller Mom Show. Thank you for joining me today for an in the car video. It's been a long time since I've done one, and I thought today is actually kind of like running all over the place. Don't know if I'd get to record, so thought I'd bring back the talking to myself in a car video. This is how I got started with the channel back in February of 2019, and yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while. So today's video is just kind of like a chat with me type of video, and I don't always do these, but I made a video a while back about proactive selling and making daily sales goals and using a tool that I made, which I have available on my Etsy store. Shout out, shameless plug. You know, that you can buy, and it's like a Google Sheet, and you can use it on your phone to track your progress toward a daily sales goal. And that really has gotten me thinking, and I have an Instagram post going up today about, and so you'll see this after, but it's about, are you selling or are you hoping for your items to sell? And so it's like tricky, because some of us, you know, like the idea of just putting up an item and not having to do anything, and if it sells, it sells, and when it sells, it's great. And you know, some people like Poshmark because you can actively influence your sales. Some people don't like Poshmark because you have to do all this sharing and whatever. So I mean, there's lots of schools of thought, but for me, I'm trying to make this, you know, my full-time job, you know, even though I'm doing it kind of part-time with Geo, and I want it to eventually be a full-time job, and I want it to eventually be even more than that and be, you know, a real business. And I am of the mindset of not just sitting back and hoping items will sell. I want to be influencing my sales. I want to be creating the sales. And so yeah, it's nice when you put up an item and you get an offer and you hit accept. It's nice when you put up an item and overnight it sells for full price, or if somebody makes a giant bundle and they buy all your stuff. Like those are great, but it's not, you know, sometimes the bulk of your sales. A lot of times you have to do things in order to make your item sell, whether it's as simple as sharing your closet, which we all know is important and required, but all the way up to like making offers, making bundles, sending offers on the bundles, running sales, running 5 for 25 or 3 for 20, running 50% off, you know, doing all of these different things to be proactive in selling. And so I made this video a while back, which goes through all of the things that I do, all the tactics, all what I call sales generating activities. So things that you can do in your store with your customers to influence and create sales. And I do all of them every day. And I've noticed that on days that I'm actively tracking my progress toward my daily sales goal, and again, in my little tracker, you can do it however you want. You can do it on a piece of scratch paper. But if you want something easy that you can use on your phone and see on your computer and it be very handy, I mean, I do it super quick. Go check out that video or go check out the Etsy store and you can see exactly what I'm talking about, the product I created. It's super simple. Anyway, when I'm actively using it, because sometimes I forget to use it, so I'm not actively tracking my goal. But when I know my daily sales goal right now is $167 in gross sales, that should get me to $5,000 a month gross sales. And that's a revised goal for me. It used to be 300 a day, but I very rarely hit it. And so this year for 2020 going forward, I really retooled my goals to make things that are realistic. I want to be hitting them, and so my focus is on profit, and that's a whole separate video. But so I'm just got a basic sales goal of $5,000 a month gross, which is $167 a day, and I put that in my little tracker, and as sales come in, I just add my gross sale amount down the line in the column, and it tells me how much I have left to that goal. And throughout the day, I can see like, oh, I'm doing really well. Oh, I'm pretty far behind. And that influences my decision to do certain things at certain times, whether it's send out extra offers that I wouldn't normally do, whether it's share a few extra times, whether it's, you know, comment on a bundle that someone had a couple of days ago. It says, hey, are you still interested in this? Feel free to counter my offer. Like, you know, just different things that you can do to influence and be proactive in making those sales come through for you. And if you're not tracking and actively knowing where you are in the day toward your goal, you don't have that information to be able to say, oh, I'm doing really well, I don't have to do all of this stuff today. Or I'm pretty behind in where I want to be, I really should get my butt in gear. That allows me to put my foot on and off the pedal of my business, of the gas, if you will. So I say all of this because I made that video with the tactics and the tool, but I didn't really talk about like why and how and what is your school of thought on it. Like for me, I want a busy store, I want to influence the sales, and I don't want to just sit back and wait. Now, if you're someone that is fine with doing less work, or maybe you work full time and Poshmark and eBay and all of that is just a separate, you know, side thing for you, and you don't have the time to do as much proactivity, I totally get that as well. But I do think, you know, for some people, they may not think about it the same way as I do. And so this might be kind of an eye-opening idea in that you do have the power to influence sales. Sharing and sending offers and doing all of these things that I talk about in this video and in the other video are not just tasks to check off. The result is that you want sales to come of it. And so you could notice if you're sending out offers on your entire closet once a week, and you send out a 10% offer once a week on your entire closet, and you notice that you don't really get much from that, maybe you should change it to 20%. Maybe you should send them more often. Maybe you should one day on older items send a 50% offer. Like, there's just so much more that you can do when you're actively trying to result from the sales generating tasks, rather than just doing tasks because you put it on a list for yourself to say, this is what I'm gonna do every day. I also think if you haven't created like a routine for yourself, like a daily routine of these are the things that I'm gonna do, this is my sales plan for the day or what have you, and I'm working on a sheet that I can put in the Etsy store that I kind of want to make it free, but I don't think on Etsy you can do that. I have to mess around with the coupon codes to see if it's possible if I put it up but then gave a coupon code, but then I don't want them to charge me fees when you're getting it for free, because then I'd be losing money. So sorry. So I'm working on that, because I'd like, you know, like a nice checklist worksheet page to share what my routine is, and that you can use and then maybe even adapt it for yourself. So stay tuned for that. Be checking the Etsy shop, because I've got a lot of ideas in the works for all of these tools and activities and things. But going back to it, I thought about it in terms of like a shop today, like a store. Like if you worked in a retail store, there are probably sales training things that they would teach you on how to make more sales. And so now you're a shop owner, but your shop is online. What are the things that you're doing to influence sales? Are you welcoming people to your store? Are you creating a good buying environment? Are you giving them all the information they need to make a confident buying decision? Are you making it easy for them to buy by, let's say, having a bundle offer or making an easy sale available to them? Do you have all the good information in your listing so that they don't have to ask you questions? The other thing to think about is buyers come in all shapes and sizes, and I don't mean physically, I mean in terms of the way that they buy. And so you have people that will just automatically pay full price and outright buy your item. And that's what they do. Then you have people that want a deal, and they're willing and gutsy enough to ask you for a deal by making an offer to you. Sometimes they lowball you, sometimes they make a reasonable offer. You have those people. Then you have people that like items with the hope that you're going to send them an offer, because that's how Poshmark works now. So they don't want to make an offer to you because they don't want to insult you, but they want an offer. They don't want to buy at full price. They're interested in the item and they're a motivated buyer, but they don't want to make you the offer. So if you're ignoring those likes and not sending offers, you're missing out on possible sales. If someone bundles an item but doesn't make an offer, that could be a sign as well. And so sometimes they just bundle it, they don't like it, and so you're missing out if you're not sending bundle offers. So there's that. Then there's people that just like items like crazy for no reason, and they don't have any intention of buying, but they think it's going to get exposure to their store. And, you know, sometimes you waste your time dealing with those people. It is what it is. You know, then there's people that aren't going to do anything, but they might see a 5 for $25 or a 3 for $20 sign and say, oh, I can get a really good deal. And so if you share that sale sign more often than all of your items, they might catch that and come into your store and make a nice bundle and buy. So, like, if you're not trying to invite and welcome all of these different buying types into your store, you're missing out on making sales to them. And I've really been trying to think about that. Like, what other tactics, what other tools are available to me? And, you know, I used to be in sales, and I never liked sales before being in sales, because I think people can be slicko and salesy and just yuck, you know, and I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to be that person. I've always been trained in sales, and I think my just general style is what they call a consultative sales approach. So you're basically identifying what the person's need is, what their problem is, what their want is, what are they trying to solve, what are they coming to you with, and do you have a fit for them? Is what they are looking for and what you have available a match somehow? And sometimes it does take some creative language, the power of persuasion, to make someone see that you have a match for them. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's just straightforward. They're looking for a Free People sweater. You have the Free People sweater in their size. It's the right price. They buy it. Everybody's happy. But sometimes you need to make that Free People sweater, you know, a little bit more enticing with an impulsive, you know, an offer that they can take advantage of impulsively. Or maybe they're not confident because they've been burned in the past by other sellers, and so you need to give good information in your listing to make them feel comfortable to buy from you. Maybe you need to answer their questions in a timely manner for them to feel comfortable to buy from you. Like, all of these things, all of these touch points, all of these impressions are ways that can make or break your sales. And so I kind of touched on a lot of things, but it's just something that I've really been thinking about, because I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like I don't always make the translation or the connection between what I used to do in sales and what I'm doing now. I think a lot more about marketing now, which I never did. And so I think, oh, I don't know how to do this. I have to learn all these new skills. But really, I have skills. I've you know, done well in the sales environments that I was in being proactive and going out and hunting for customers and clients, and then through the consultative sales approach, shown them that I have a good match for them. And so I'm going to keep thinking about this. I'm going to keep mulling it over and figuring out how I can use that model and that framework and that understanding to improve my business in reselling, and then share those tips and tricks with you, because I think a lot of us are looking for that secret, you know, what's the secret way to make more sales, better sales, you know? And there's a lot of opinions out there, and I watch all those videos too. I'm a consumer of YouTube videos. I want to know what everybody's doing. But I also think that I do take the time to think about it a little bit differently and share those thoughts. So I don't want to make this a super long one. You know, I tend to ramble. So if you're still with me at 13 minutes, darn it, 14 minutes. I really was trying to make this a 10-minute video. Anyway, I better go. Thanks so much for watching. Like this video on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave your comments. Let me know, does this interest you? Do you think that we should talk more about this, like how we can actually be more active sellers and create scenarios in where we can make more sales by doing different tactics? So let's talk about it. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Bye.